Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to all. This is Maira Ambrose, and I'm grateful to Nurul Huda Education for giving me this opportunity that I can share knowledge and learning experience with all of you through this platform of Teachers Learning Fest. So without any further ado, let me start the presentation by sharing my screen. Before starting the session, I would like to give my brief introduction. I have done my master's in microbiology way back in 2007. And when I landed in the field of education, I did my B.Ed in 2015 from Karachi University. From the time of 2011 till now, I've done various professional diploma, professional development courses from prominent institutes like IBA, Notre Dame Institute of Education, NDIE, AKUID. I have done my professional diploma in educational leadership and management from Pakistan Institute of Management. Currently, I am facilitating a VBL, Value-Based Leadership Program, again, under the management of Nurul Huda Education. This was my brief introduction. Let me start the session formally. The topic which I choose that was non-verbal strategies for classroom success. And what I felt in my perspective is not given this topic and this non-verbal strategies are not given that much importance. And the due importance, due concentration, the effectiveness is not much there in the classrooms. Although it has a tremendous impact on communication and student engagement and teacher-student relationship. So this is the reason why I selected this topic. Today's session learning objectives will be the communication model, that is 735, 38 and 55. Different types of nonverbal communication I will share. Reading and responding to nonverbal cues in the classroom. How we can manage our own nonverbal cues. Then another thing which I wanted to emphasize is teacher-student rapport, the connection, how we can improve. And another thing which will be helping all of us as educators, that the strategies which I will be sharing. In the beginning of the session, I wanted every educator, everybody to understand that communication is something which we understand, which is not being said, the hidden message, the silent message which we can't hear, but we can understand if there's a connection, if there's a bond, if there's a rapport between teacher and a student. So the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. I think it is rightly said by Peter Drucker. From this point, I wanted to start my session. Now, 7, 38, and 55 model or formula, communication model. It is also known as 3 V's, visual, vocal, and verbal. It is given by Albert Mehrabian, who is a psychologist and who is famous for his publication on verbal and nonverbal communication. If we see the 55%, which is very dominant number, it accounts for the body movement, our body language, the facial expression, the gestures which we give through our nonverbal communication, which is very important. Only 7% accounts for the verbal communication, the words which we say. So what I want to emphasize here is nonverbal strategies, nonverbal cues are so important in the classroom to getting the classroom success, and that's how we can get the academic and the whole thing which can be achieved. COPAC, which is acronym, different kinds of communication. K stands for kinesics, which means the whole body language, in which the facial expression, gestures, the movement of our different parts of the body. Even if we just do, sometimes student ask question, kuch bache kuch non serious kisam ke irrelevant questions which are not relevant to the topic. And sometimes being a teacher in the classroom, and if we are kind of upset with the question which that particular student asked, so that gives a very negative message to that student. Okay, teacher is upset with me, teacher is not answering. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो हमारे फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन से, हमारे हाथों की मूवमेंट से, द वे वी स्टैंड, द पोस्चर वी गिव. So kinesics stands for all the body movement, body language, gestures, our facial expression gives. Oculesics, O stands for oculesics, eye movement, the way we look at the student and how we look and how much we look. It accounts for that. Sometimes we gaze in a way which gives a very wrong message, a negative message. It also gives a student this feeling that teacher doesn't like me. So this also very important when we are in the classroom as a teacher, as a facilitator. So how we look to a student and how much we look towards the students. Our eye contact. Are we making eye contact to the student when we are talking to any particular student or not? Sometimes we need to give a certain message, and our eye movement or our body language is giving a different message. So oculesics is something which is non-verbal, and it is related to our eyes. There are certain messages which are given. Sometimes we gaze in a very negative way. Proxemics stands for the space, the closeness. Sometimes we stand so far from that student gets the image, the impression that teacher doesn't like me, or teacher doesn't give me that much importance, the value. So the concern is not there. Teacher doesn't give that much importance to me. And sometimes we stand so close to that student, which gives a message that it is too intimidating. It is sometimes too patronizing. So this also needs to be very important. बहुत ज्यादा ख्याल रखना चाहिए कि हम कितने distance से खड़े हैं. Sometimes we are standing so far from the student can't hear even. Sometimes हम इतनी दूर खड़े होके बात करते हैं कि student को ऐसा लगता है कि हमारी कोई value नहीं है, teacher doesn't value us. And sometimes we stand so close. So proxemics is some kind of a space, how close, how far we stand to a student from anybody. So coming to another P in COPAC, that is acronym for different kinds of communication, is para-language. Para means like, and language means communication. So it is like communication. Now, in what way para-language it's like communication? The voice, the voice modulation, pitch, the tone we use. Sometimes the tone is very sarcastic. So this also accounts for non-verbal communication and what kind of message it sends when we give any sarcastic, or sometimes we give a sigh. Oh, so these kind of messages, these kind of non-verbal communication is very important to look for as a educator, as an educationist. बहुत ज़्यादा ख्याल रखना चाहिए क्लास में, as a teacher, as a facilitator, as a guide. We are the role model. And if we use that kind of sarcastic comment, that tone which is not matching the message which we want. Sometimes we have no intention of giving a wrong or a negative message, but the tone or the volume, pitch, the speed of delivery is not matching the message which we want to send. So this also comes under nonverbal communication. Then comes A in that COPAC, artifacts. It means the kind of jewelry, the pattern in the clothes, dark color, too many pattern, very bling bling kind of jewelry, everything in your hand. Sometimes there's a marker and you keep on moving that marker, or a chalk. That creates distraction. And this we also need to keep in our mind. Okay, maybe the student is not focusing on the topic rather than focusing on the rings which a teacher is wearing, or there are too many patterns in the clothes, especially the younger kids, छोटे बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा अपनी टीचर को they are, I mean, focusing on the kind of jewelry or kind of rings, the pattern, very dark color they are wearing. So specific way, sometimes teacher has a specific way of holding that chalk in the hand. So these also are very important, and these also comes under non-verbal cues or non-verbal communication. So artifacts, all the things, whether it's jewelry, whether it's the clothing which we do, so we need to keep our hands free when we are explaining, and try to remove all the distractions. इवन जो छोटे बच्चे होते हैं उनके लिए कहा जाता है कि उनके लिए बहुत ज्यादा फैंसी किस्म के पेंसिल बॉक्स भी एंड फैंसी किस्म की स्टेशनरी भी ना खरीदी जाए, बिकॉज दे कीप ऑन प्लेइंग विद देयर स्टेशनरी. वो पेंसिल बॉक्स हो गया, या पेन मार्कर or eraser, so they always distracted with these kind of thing. If a teacher is wearing a big ring or jewelry or a pattern, artifacts accounts for that. Now, chronemics is something which means the how human communicate in terms of time, how we use our time. Chronemics is the study of using time. Using time effectively in our lifestyle, it gives a discipline. So if a teacher comes before time and standing outside the classroom, it gives indication to the students that teacher is very punctual. And sometimes when teacher waits for the student to respond, it gives a message to the student that teacher value us, teacher gives us time. So chronemics is the use of time, how a teacher deliver his or her session, his or her class, the speed of speech, willingness to wait, punctuality also, that if teacher comes on time in the class or waits after the class also for that certain student or for any other teacher. So that gives a very positive message to the students for the teacher. Then comes tactilics. Tactilics means, or it is the study of touch. It is also known as haptic. When a student is doing good job, sometimes we give high five, or we shake hands, or holding pencil for the student when tracing or helping him or her in making a diagram, or giving a pat to a student when the student did a very good job. This also gives a good message, a positive message to the student, to the learner, that my teacher likes me, that my teacher give me value, and and the teacher and the student feel valued, and the student feel respected, student feel that teacher is concerned for me. So this COPAC, that is acronym for different types of communication. I hope this will be helpful, and this is something which we all needs to see when we are in the classroom as a teacher. So this kinesics, oculesics, proxemics, paralanguage, artifacts, chronemics, and tactilics, I hope this will be helpful whenever you are in the classroom, and we need to keep all these things in our mind, that it also gives a message to the students. Now coming to reading our next objective, that how we read nonverbal cues. Something which is not usual. For example, eating eraser, eating at any time, not only in break time. The chalk, playing with the pencil box, or the sharpen of the pencil. If any task is given, that child is not focused, not, and the child is focused every day, but at a certain in a certain period, in a certain unit, in a certain class, the child is not focusing, not on task, not doing work, feeling sleepy, lazy, distracted. These are all non-verbal cues that, as a teacher, as a facilitator, as an educationist, being in the classroom or outside also, sometimes teachers are doing break duty, sometimes teachers are in the corridor, off time, home time duties. We need to see all these, we need to read all these non-verbal cues. Some facial expressions, sometimes students are giving, maybe there's a stomach ache, or the child is upset because of, or child is anxious because of any reason. Some posture of or the appearance which are unusual, the color of the eyes, the child feels so sleepy, the child eyes are very pale, face is very pale. So we need, as an educationist, as a facilitator, as a teacher, we need to read all these hidden message, all these silent messages. How we can respond to the nonverbal cues? By making a bond. My message or the gist of today's session would be the connection, the bond. So what I usually do in my class, that I use these nonverbal cues, nonverbal strategies, like when the child is giving a good answer, so I'll do thumbs up, or sometimes if they are, I mean, they are not responding as I wanted, so sometimes thumbs down, or a sign of victory, or showing them to raise their hand. Or if they don't want another strategy, that don't, no need of raising hand, you can put your fist on your belly, so I know what you are doing. Giving a smile to the students gives a message that teacher is for us. Showing empathy, being more concerned towards student. And then for that, a instructor, teacher needs to be very much alert during their class, and give them a message that you are good enough the way you are. That gives them motivation. That is the motivator in the classroom, and that gives a very high achievement in the classroom, what I felt and what I experienced and I practiced. Another message which I wanted to give to all of you, that know your students, know yourself. It's a message by Stephen Brookfield, uh, the skillful teacher. So the emphasis on the skillful teacher defines rapport as the effective glue that binds education relationship together. I totally agree with Stephen Brookfield, and that this bonding, the connection, the rapport is so important to get the desired results in the classroom. That the bonding, that connection is very important. So I totally agree by to Stephen Brookfield. Now, how to improve nonverbal communication, that I have shared earlier also, and all the COPAC, the non-verbal strategies, the non-verbal cues which we talk about. So if we make an eye contact, that oculesics, nod your head to convey your message. Kinesics means your body language matters a lot. Smile and show your interest means showing empathy, showing concern, showing them that they are valued. Lean forward to show speaker your interest. Again comes the body language. leaning forward, showing that, yes, I am here, I am listening to you. It again comes in kinesics, body language, the gesture, the posture, the movement of your body. Use tone of voice that matches your message, proxemics, and paralanguage. So these all are the strategies also, what I can say. So how you can improve your nonverbal communication and getting the high achievement, getting the success in the class. There's a small activity which shows that how that 55%, which I shared in the beginning by Albert Mehrabian, that communication model is proving right. This activity, if you do at your home, take a paper, fold it half, another half, make a circle, make a square closer to the circle, rip it off, make a hole. If you are done with this activity, if there are 10 people who are doing this activity, all 10 will have different results, because the conclusion of the activity is sometimes word fail us and we need to make clarity. Demonstration is very important. It means that words account, according to that Mehrabian model, that communication model, words account for in communication only 7%. So what I was saying to all of you was only words. It was words. And some make circle in a different manner, some make square in a different way, some rip it off the whole page, some rip it off from the corner, because the directions were not clear. I have to show you how you need to do it, how you need to rip it, where you need to make a hole, where you need to make a circle, where you need to make a square. So demonstration is very, very important. It's mean your whole body or your non-verbal communication matters a lot. So this activity was about that your non-verbal communication matters a lot in the classroom and even in all walks of life. What you shouldn't be doing in the classroom, the don'ts. Cross your arm. It is too patronizing. It is showing that I am the boss. Yes, being in the classroom as a facilitator, you have the authority, but not in that manner, not in a wrong way, not in a negative way. So when you cross your arm, it gives a message that it is too patronizing. It shows too bossy. Stare too much at one person. So don't do that. It is very intimidating. Stand too close to a student, that I've already shared in COPAT, different types of communication, proxemics, accidental spitting, COVID SOPs, and also nowadays we have this conjunctivitis, eye infection. Not stand close to very, very close to a student, and then stand or sit at one place. It is very monotonous. It is too monotonous. So that were the don'ts of nonverbal communication that you shouldn't be doing. Now, I spoke about strategies to build a connection, a bond with students. There could be many strategies, but I selected some. Show interest in students' life and well-being. How you can do that in your spare time, in your free time, break time, when you are going in the corridor, you can speak to the child in your fixtures, when you don't have a class but a teacher is absent, or in the break time sometimes. So you can ask that student about their well-being, about their life, and that's how you can establish connection. That's how you can establish a bond, a connection to that student. Establish clear expectations and rule that gives a firmness in the classroom. You, rather than being strict, you need to be firm in the classroom. So establish clear expectations and rules, so you don't have to be so strict and very bossy in the class. Foster a sense of community in the class. Use humor and levity. Sometimes we need to share a kind of joke which is on in a very light mood. The lesson should be conducted. That gives a message to the student, that gives a sign that yes, teacher is available. Use positive reinforcement and encouragement, that I've already shared in my session also, how you can show encouragement by giving smile, uh, giving a pat, holding their pencil, helping them in the different ways. So use positive reinforcement. For example, giving a remark on their notebook, you can see me if you can't understand any topic, you can come to me in your break time, in your free time, I can explain you. That shows that they are valued. Be open and approachable. When you use your lesson in a very light manner, use humor and levity, I can connect this point with this point. Be open and approachable. So students get this message that yes, my teacher is approachable, I can go to my teacher, I can share my problem. And that's how your connection, your bond will be established, and it become more and more stronger. Seek feedback, take feedback from the students. How was the session? How what was the thing, what was the topic, what was the point which was muddiest, you couldn't understand, how you felt about today's class. So you need to seek feedback. These are the strategies which help any educator, any teacher to build connection, to build a bond with the student. Now, last but not the least, encourage participation. If we ask, sometimes teacher has a habit of asking questions from the students who are usually participating, who are actively participating. Sometimes we need to see students, again, you need to read that hidden message if a child is not participating in your class, and the child is active in other units or other lessons. So try to know the reason and try to encourage their participation also in your class. These are some of the strategies which can be useful to make a bond, a connection, a rapport between a teacher and the learner. A teacher-student connection that I felt I should share. It is very, I like this a lot. Building relationship with student is by far the most important thing a teacher can do. Without a solid foundation and relationship built on trust and respect, no quality learning will happen. Timothy Hilton. I strongly agree with the message by Timothy Hilton. Sometimes we have this perception being as a teacher, that it is a waste of time and we have to complete the syllabus. We have so much to do. I have this activity, I have a planner, I am distracted from my lesson plan. This also very important, but the by far so important, most important thing as a teacher is to build relationship. And when this relationship is built, the academics, that syllabus, that curriculum will go so smoothly, and then you will realize it is not a waste of time. So I strongly agree with Timothy Hilton that building relationship with student is by far the most important thing a teacher can do. So that was the gist of, that was the whole message of my session. Now moving to next slide. It is just what I felt as an educator. We need to read these books. These are some recommendations which I feel that I can share. These are some of the books by Albert Mehrabian, and some other authors about nonverbal communication, silent messages, how to improve your nonverbal communication. Then there is another book about nonverbal communication, and a book by named Body Language. So these are some of the recommendations I felt I should share with all of you. And concluding my session here with a thank you. I hope the session would be productive, and you all find something useful to use in your classroom. Thank you so much.